Hi, my name is Dale Deerdorf. I am pleased to teach QSO 640 Project Management at SNU. After retiring from a major aerospace company as a project and program manager, I transitioned into a role as an enterprise consultant. In addition to that, I've taught online and distance taught project management since 2003. I have over 30 years of experience in organizational management and leadership. Now, I enjoy teaching and facilitating in the SNU MBA program because the students are looking for a stronger focus on the subject. They really want to explore the focus areas with an independent perspective. That independent perspective allows them to learn not only from me, but from themselves and from the other students. Now, the thing I'm here today to talk to you about is the technique that I learned about 50 years ago called microscheduling. Now, microscheduling is a technique and a project management perspective on how to create a specific type of schedule. So let's go ahead and jump into that, because what I want you to know is that realistically, I don't want you to have to manage or have to, I'll call it micromanage every task on the project. What I want you to do is distill your project down into what is essential. And the way to do that is to start by creating, I'll call it just a roadmap of what you want to talk about. What is it that you really want? I want a one-page snapshot. Lay out your project in these steps. I want 1, 2, 3, 4 along the top, and then I've got my entire project captured in 12 spots. You can do that also. In addition to that, once you've got these spaces filled out as to what the steps are, it's going to give you the ability to then come in and we're going to reschedule what I'll call the critical project areas so that we really understand those. We're going to identify, if necessary, a clear mapping of risks and impact areas, and you'll see a do loop or a yes-no decision step in the project that I'm going to show you. And then we're going to focus on improving the effectiveness and efficiency within the project. Because remember, those are the two things that you really have control over, and the way you control those is getting the right people at the right time doing the right thing. If you can make that happen as a project manager, your schedule will continue on. But we know from experience that there are always challenges. Now, this is an example of what I call microscheduling. Now, you can see in the schedule or the chart below that it is a technical schedule that I've laid out for you. It has a date on one side. Always fill out the date. It has a chart owner on the other. Always fill out who owns this chart. It's a one-page snapshot that you should be able to put up and explain to everyone exactly what's going on your project. It's more powerful than a Gantt chart because it shows something different than the predecessor-successor logic. This shows you where you are at this point and where you should think you should be. So it gives you not only the baseline start and baseline finish layout, which you would get in a Gantt chart, it gives you the actual start and finish for all of the key components. You can see where you're bottlenecked. It's stronger than the network diagram because it also gives you the ability to move these around. It gives you the ability to show the non-critical path and the critical path. And in addition to that, it's very easy to create this level of chart. So you start, like I said, just a tab of paper, 12 blocks, map your project out that way to start with, then translate this information into another program. Now, any of the graphic programs that are out there will suffice to this. I'm going to open up Microsoft Visio because that's what I did this particular chart in, but I've seen it done in PowerPoint, I've seen it done in Excel, I've even seen someone put this together in Word and they struggled with it, but any of the graphic packages that you can just lay out block designs and then come in and make modifications to that. So here's that same chart laid out in its native form. You can see along the top I've created baseline starts and baseline finishes for all the tasks all the way across. That would be your first step. You can do it at this point also. You can lay a baseline start, baseline finish logic in all the way along to start with, and then what is the duration? Understand what the duration of each one of these steps is and then lay that out. If it's a 2-day task, then it starts here and ends here. What day would that be? Lay that philosophy out. This gives you the ability to see where you should be tracking. Now, on the last task over here, this particular one, you can see that we are 50% complete, and that's acknowledged through this gray bar. I put the gray bar in at 100% every time I fill something. I can move this down to 25%. I could move it to 75%, 60%. It gives you the ability to kind of modulate whatever it is you want to do. Then in addition to that, you can fill that text out off to the side. So I've got 50% for the completion on this point. That is very easy to change. So you'll see that only the tasks that we've either started or completed have got the actual start and finish dates below. So that's this row of dates down here. And then you can see that we've got a target date. We were trying to finish of 3/29/10, and this is all a fictitious piece that I've put together for you. In addition to that, you could drag this down, and I've split it apart where I had two predecessors walking into one event. You can create that logic in this. I put in a yes-no customer acceptance loop here that may have to follow back through. You can be as creative as you want with this type of programming, with this type of network illustration of what's going on. So microscheduling for you becomes the opportunity to give yourself the ability to, on a one-sheet snapshot, see exactly where your project is, where you think you should be, point to the block. So we know that there's a block over here called anodized parts. That anodized parts is what everyone should be focused on, because that's what we're trying to get completed. It gives you that ability to start focusing on your effectiveness and your efficiencies and to find a way to highlight that. So if you need any more information on microscheduling, feel free to contact me. But listen, I want you to have a great day. Bye-bye.